guys? Welcome to another episode of Cultured by the Uncultured. I'm your host, Taylor B, with a good friend of mine.
Yo, what's up, Daniel? Got 2 words for you, too. I'm back.
Daniel's back here with me. Unfortunately, Sam and DJ couldn't make it this week, but, we're going to try to get it done for you guys anyways. Been going through a lot, a lot of changes, a lot of lifestyle changes, and a lot of events have been happening. Comic-Con, I'm sure you guys are aware of that. Tons of music drop, tons of news and, movies and movie announcements and all sorts of things. So today we're going to start off with music for you guys just because I feel like between the last episode and this episode, a ton of music has dropped. Just to name off a few.
In short order, a ton. It's way more than a ton, bro.
Yeah, for real. A couple things that dropped. Chances, The Big Day just dropped. E40's album, I'm not sure the title of that. That just dropped. Jaden Smith, Iris dropped. Willow Smith's self-titled album, Willow dropped. YBN Cordae, The Lost Boy dropped. Beyonce got an album, The Lion King. Is this like
I think it's just a soundtrack and then a couple of her own
like original songs. Okay, yeah, I listened to it. A bunch more, but I can't really remember off the top of my head right now. But diving right in, which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, you can go with a recency bias here. We can start with Chance, I guess.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to say about time. It's been I don't know how many years since Coloring Book came out.
That was 2015, wasn't it? Or 2016, 2016?
It was a long time ago because I was still in Oakland. So it's definitely been a minute.
Yeah.
So, but the part that I love the most about this album is the secret features. We had the conversation about this a while ago. Right? Mm-hmm. I love listening to music and I don't know who's on the track. I like being surprised like that when I hear certain people on the tracks and all that. I really love Chance's. Ever since I got introduced to Chance, was pretty much I didn't know who Chance was until Childish Gambino came out with that song. All She Needed Was Some. That was like the first time I heard a Chance the rapper. I missed acid rap, I missed 10 Day, I missed all of those. And then, but what made me fall in love with his music was pretty much my Christian roots, and he has this whole gospel influence on a lot of his songs, and that immediately made me be like, hey, I'm interested in this just because I grew up a Christian and all that, and I'm still a Christian. So that one, and then Eternal and I Got You are like my two favorite tracks on there.
I liked Eternal, yeah.
Especially with I Got You's got that real nice 90s vibe in it. It feels like I have a pajama jam playing that song,
I think, so for me, my favorite track probably off the whole album, Hot Shower. Mm-hmm. It starts off and it's like, I didn't like it when it first started. And then as he kept going and kind of catching steam, I was like, okay. And then I think somebody comes in after him. I'm not sure who it was. And then at the end, it's The Baby. The song kind of took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it. The album in total, I feel like it was really experimental, and I did like that about him. It really seemed like it almost didn't seem like he put forth this effort to create a brand new album. It seemed more like he went into the studio, invited a bunch of his friends, and had a good time. And was like, let's just make some music and see what we get from it, Because I feel like everything sounds very, very different than everything else. Like no song sound alike. I would not even be able to classify it as like one. It's not one style. Everything is different.
It's very pull out the laptop in a different spot with different.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool. It's fresh. It's nice. In total, I feel like as just a listening, I could listen to it definitely, but I feel like I have gotten more enjoyment from some of his previous projects, especially Coloring Book, Acid Rap, and all that. I really love those projects that he's had. This is not a bad project by any means, but I just feel like it's not necessarily something that I could really see myself listening to on a continuous basis, or becoming essentially one of my favorite albums from him or something like that. Still a good project though in its own right, definitely.
I don't really know if it's gonna hold up to Coloring Book. I mean, I'm about halfway through it as of now, and there's only these 2 songs that I really put on repeat and all that.
Yeah.
Coloring Book, it was immediately I had 3 songs on repeat, so I don't know if it's gonna hold the same weight to that, but he is in a different space now. He is married now and everything like that. His daughter, his kids, I don't know if it's his daughter, but his kids are older and all that now. So he's definitely a different headspace, different part of life right now. So it's going to be a different type of vibe.
Definitely. Moving on from Chance, well, before we do that, I would assume that we can both say that this is a good album though, at a minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I've never heard anything from Chance that wasn't at least good.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for that, Chance.
Yeah, appreciate that definitely. Next on the list, what else have you listened to?
Listened to that E40 last night. I was supposed to go to bed at like 10, and then I realized E40 dropped an album, and then I stayed up to at least 1, just listening to half of it because it was so long. I think that one's almost like 16 songs, something like that. There's a lot on there.
E40 for me, he's always going to be a West Coast legend. You can't never take that away from him. But I've seen him drop so many projects that I've just never listened to. Mm-hmm. And like, shout out to my boy Traynell, because he's over there in Ohio, and I know he's jamming out to E40 right now. That's one of his favorite artists. And it's so interesting to me that it's like, if I ever met E40, I would be so stoked. But it's like I could barely name any of his songs, including this new project, because you and a good friend of the pod and a good friend of ours, Josh, mentioned it. I was just like, oh shit, E40 got a new album? That's crazy.
Well, you just gonna take my credit like that? I thought in there.
I hella thought he said that. Oh, that's you. Oh, my bad. Well, never mind then, Josh. Go fuck yourself. But because you guys have brought it up, I was just like, oh damn, like it's crazy. E40 has a new project. I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet because I was trying to listen to everything else that we wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm certain he didn't lack on the lyrics. He didn't. I'm sure he has some crazy metaphors. He's got that, that weird way that he raps his words and stuff. So I mean, I guess just what are your thoughts on it? Did you like it?
I actually did like it. I liked it a lot more than I usually like E40 projects. I mean, this is his 28th one, so I've had plenty of practice of listening and being like,
he going for 40? He going for 40?
I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't put it past him. But one of the main things is he definitely has his. I do have a gripe though. The slower songs, the way his style is, sometimes the slower songs I'm not really feeling that. He got this one song with Jeremiah on there. The name of it escapes me right now, but man, the way he raps and all that, I'm like, you need to speed this up. Somebody needs to get on the track and just turn it up just a little bit and all that. But my favorites on that are Go and then Rain on My Parade with Ty Dolla $ign and G-Eazy. That's a great combo. Anybody else listening that makes music, if we ever get big, put Ty Dolla $ign and G-Eazy on the same track. It's fire. So I listened to that, and then what I really like about E40 the most is the way you were talking. I call it Flintstone rap to me, just because somebody like our friend Joey, he would be able to explain it a little bit better as far as what he's actually doing there. But he's actually talking on the rap instead of, you can tell people. Some people are rapping. He's like how we are talking, but it's just on a beat. Yeah. It's the funnest thing to listen to, in my opinion. But that actually led me to G-Eazy's EP, just because
he dropped something.
Yeah, I was just like, I haven't heard G-Eazy since he came down here with Logic. I was like, what's up with G-Eazy?
Fuck with me and get some money.
So we actually had an EP that was actually slept on. It's called East Sides and all that. So everybody check that one out too.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like you said, I haven't seen G-Eazy since he came down here with Logic and who was a YG, Yo Gotti, and a couple other guys. But like his own music, I think I've heard like a single or two that he's dropped. I know he dropped a song with Blueface recently, or not that recently, but people like it, whatever, G-Eazy is not like, I'm not a huge G-Eazy fan, but he's definitely got a couple songs that I've liked and I've messed with or whatever. From there, let's just, I guess, go into the Smiths real quick. Jaden and Willow Smith, they're very interesting individuals. I know like their parents, the style,
to say the least,
the style of raising them has kind of been like, let them fly essentially, So I guess since it's older and we've probably had more time to digest, but Jaden Smith's Iris album, I always want to call it Aries, but I guess it's Iris, whatever. It's just Sire spelled backwards, but
that doesn't. It doesn't quite add up with the spelling there. I'm pretty sure that's Eris.
That sounds a lot more accurate, yeah. But the album overall, I enjoyed it. It's actually surprisingly one of those albums that the more I've listened to it, the less I have enjoyed it, surprisingly. Me and you had a conversation about Pink versus Blue. And I thought you had a great breakdown. I think you said you liked BL more than you liked PI, and you liked UE less than you liked NK or something like that, which I thought was interesting. And I think I said I liked Pink more than I liked Blue. Either way, for this album and for his other album, Sire, Jaden has started off with like a color, basically. For Sire, it was blue. For this album, Iris, it was pink. They're really interesting songs. Each letter is its own track, and they flow really well. It's almost like a mini EP inside of the album itself. So it's like obviously the albums have a centralized theme of, you know, whatever story you're trying to portray about like a boy and alternate realities, or, you know, whatever love and experiences and things like that. But Blue and Pink are like, they tend to not sound like the rest of the album really.
Definitely not, man.
I feel like he puts a lot more effort and soul into that, almost most definitely. You don't know any of the features unless you hear the songs. Then, like, you know, you can hear, you know, whatever artist he's working with. Throughout the rest of the songs, he'll put the features and who's in the songs, things like that. A couple songs from me though, from Iris, that I enjoyed a lot. I really liked. I think it's called Someone Else. Someone Else, which is like it really, I can just hear him the most. He uses a lot of auto tune. He's really auto tune heavy, but I can hear him the most in that song, and I really enjoy that. I like Summertime in Paris, or is this called Summertime? I'm not sure. I think it's called Summertime, featuring his sister Willow Smith. And it's like summertime is meant to fall in love, blah blah blah. I can't sing, so don't follow me on that. But really enjoy that song, and I really, you know, it's it's soft, and I also like the song Blackout. I really like that song too. I think it's about like an ex or something like that, or a girl that he still has feelings for or whatever. And I really enjoy that song. You know, Jada be making me feel, you know, when these other R&B cats aren't, you know, doing that so much. They're just making songs for girls to shake their ass to in the club. Jaden's over here, you know, kind of letting his heart bleed a little bit, and I can appreciate that a lot. You got any good tracks or any other notes you wanted to add for that album?
Well, yeah, well, just I'll piggyback off what you said about how my feelings about Blue and Pink. Yeah, I feel like the way B and L bled together, you know, that transition was perfect for me. I couldn't even tell it was a different song until I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, this is a completely different track here. So that was perfect for me. And then I like NK more because he brings back in Willow in such a perfect way, where he didn't really do that in UE. So those are pretty much my stance on the two. But the other ones that I liked off of Eris were Noise and Pain, actually. Pain, just because that name got to me. It was just like, oh, it reminds me of a lot of things in my life when you listen to that one. And so I enjoy the things he does with his voice on there. Usually I don't really like the auto tune. I feel like people are, you know,
it's being abused,
or they're just trying to cover up for not being able to sing, stuff like that. But in his case, it actually works better for him. I guess that's a thing about auto tuning. If you can actually sing, it actually sounds perfect for people like that. But it doesn't mean everybody can be doing it. I'm talking to, you know who I'm talking to. Everybody can't do that. Smoke perp. But as far as his sister with Willow's album and all that, I tried. That's all I can say is I tried so hard to listen and enjoy that album. But just for my taste, it was a little slow for me. I'm the type of guy, if I'm going to get some music, I want to be hyped about something. I want to,
for sure,
especially if I'm driving a lot at work and stuff like that. I don't need to be pulling over because I'm getting tired from listening to the music and all that. But she does have a beautiful voice. I was actually super excited to hear it just because the way she sounds on Jaden's albums and stuff like that. So it was kind of a letdown for me. But, I mean, it was my first time actually trying to listen to her album. So my opinion.
I feel like for me, this album, it took me by surprise, definitely. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer when I first heard about it, but overall, I enjoyed the album. I do a lot of driving, so I can listen to a lot of music, really, podcasts, music, with, you know, movies even, or YouTube videos. But, you know, while focusing on the road, of course.
Just in case somebody from Davies listening.
But definitely, I thought there's 3 songs that really stood out to me: Samo Is Now, Overthinking It, and Female Energy Part 2. This album overall just kind of made me just feel. I feel like I connected more with my feminine side, and I could really just like let myself feel things. And the song Female Energy, it kind of puts me over that edge, and I'm just like, damn, like it makes me realize like things that I don't allow myself to feel, or like allow myself to think about, or whatever, you know, kind of just like bottle up and pent up emotions and stuff. I kind of am able to like let them out and like kind of let that crap breathe through like her being able to express herself in these songs. And I did really appreciate that. You're absolutely right about it, like kind of putting you to sleep, because it's like a lot of them are soft, but because it's like it's definitely singing. There's no rapping or anything like that.
Except for when Jaden comes in.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. But the songs are really they're not meant for like high energy or anything like that. It's just like you'd probably, if you're not in the right setting, like if you're in a setting where you're doing something physical or you're doing something for like long periods of time, it would probably be like something that relaxes you, which is probably don't want to do that if you got to keep working or you got to keep driving or something like that. So like, you know, I can listen to it like once or twice, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, let me throw on some Playboy Cardi real quick to get it jumping in here, you know.
Before I go drown myself in tears and get some ice cream.
Yeah, for real. I want to cuddle up and get a giant tub of chocolate or something, you know, drown my sorrows and cry. But overall, I enjoyed the album. I thought it was pretty good. Also, the Beyonce album came out, the Lion King soundtrack thing or whatever. I gave that a listen, just one.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't for me. It definitely wasn't for me.
Yeah, you're grown.
They had a lot of interludes in there that were just like excerpts from the movie. There's like one for James. There's like two for James Earl Jones. Like one is like I think an introduction by him. One is like him talking to Simba, and then there's one with like I'm gonna butcher this name, Ejetwell Chetfor or something. The guy that played Baron Mordo inside Doctor Strange. There's one where after Mufasa. Oh, spoiler alert! After Mufasa dies, Scar tells Simba to go away. That's one of them. And I think there's like one more where towards the end where he's like talking to Timon and Pumbaa, and he's asking them for advice or whatever, and they're like, oh, maybe you need to learn another lesson or something like that because he I forget what he said. It's been a while since I've seen Lion King, but whatever. But the songs themselves, nothing really knocked for me. Nothing really hit home. I thought like Tierra Whack was gonna go off or something. Childish Gambino, Jay-Z, whoever. I thought somebody was gonna go off and make me be like, damn, this shit is fire. Like I can't wait I'm gonna add this to my playlist right now because that's what I do. I listen to albums. Pretty much pick my favorite songs, add it to my play, like a like songs playlist. That's it, you know, just like something that like if this popped up again, I would listen to it, you know.
Thought,
but nothing in there struck me as like, oh man, this is really like replay worthy. I'm sure I might try to give it a listen again in the future. I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan by any means. Please, Beehive, forgive me. I know she's your queen. I did give it a stream at least. You know, that's support. That is something, but it's just not for me personally. It was good. It sounds good. It's just not for me.
I feel like that's kind of what holds back soundtrack albums, I guess, or anything that's tied to a movie because there's certain parameters they have to stay in within the music.
Yeah.
So maybe Tierra did want to go off, and they were like, no. We're trying to target a certain audience here. Like, You're not going to respond to doing your normal thing. You need to pull it back just a little bit. You know, ease off the punchlines, like Gambino said.
Speaking of Tierra Whack, though, and female artists in general, I know we kind of missed the whole Jermaine Dupri debacle where he said something along the lines like all females are rapping about the same stuff when it comes to like sexuality, I guess, being a stripper and rapping about their pussy or something. Kind of missed that. I know he didn't really help himself, but he said, oh, I would do a female cipher. Haven't heard anything else about that. I would like to see that. I'd be very interested because I do think there are some very talented female rap artists right now. And one thing that I noticed when he had done that, I don't know if it was the day after or the day before or whatever it was. Cardi B is probably the biggest female artist in the world, aside from Beyonce, of course, as far as rapping at least. She's probably the biggest female rapper right now. She's worth a lot of money, you know, on everything, on every album, on every project. Yeah, on every project. But she gave a shout out to, I think, Rhapsody, Tierra Whack, and like two other female artists. I forget who. Female artists, and she even says like they're not talking about their pussy, they're not talking about stripping or anything like that. Go support these artists right now, you know, like that's huge for somebody with such a big platform. She has like 33 million followers, if not more than that, maybe a little bit less, but like millions and upon millions of followers on Instagram, let alone Twitter if she has one or whatever, and all that other stuff, where she's shouting out these artists and giving them the time, telling her fans to go mess with them because they're rapping about real stuff, rapping about real situations, showcasing some really good and powerful talent level, right?
Right.
So obviously, I'm sure we can both agree that Jermaine Dupri was wrong.
Nah.
You think he was kind of right?
I feel like he had somewhat of a point because when you look at all the mainstream female artists that you have Nicki, you have Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, and all that. That's what sells their music. You know, this how Cardi said. This obviously what they want to hear because this all the music. What I'm saying is what people respond to. It's what they're paying for. It's what they're buying, you know, and all that. And I feel like that's more of an issue with people like Jermaine Dupri who own and run record labels. They're not even the real rappers, the real female rappers in the shine.
I heard that he kind of got backlash for that because he is somebody in the position to put a female artist, you know, like I think somebody brought up the Brat. And it's like you could do that again. You have the power to do that.
Right.
We as people are just gonna hear whatever's hot, whatever the labels are pushing out. But you as a person, you have the power and the wherewithal to be like, this artist is talking about something. This artist got bars. It's a female. She's popping. You already did it once with the Brat. You can definitely do it again. you know. So I think that's kind of also what kind of bit him in the ass when he said that, because I definitely understand what you're talking about. Like the women at the top are definitely rapping about certain things, and the ones that are coming up, you know, like there definitely is a lot still that are rapping about different things other than, you know, I'm a stripper, dicks, and you know, getting guys to come out their pockets for them and rapping about their vaginas or whatever. But the top ones are pretty much rapping about that. So I do understand what you're saying in that sense. But I also think that some of it also has to do with the female rap artists. The ones that are doing that want the money. They're in it for the money. They just want that, the fame, fortune, whatever. You know, I can get whatever I want. I don't need no man or whatever. Hot girl summer, this and that and the third or whatever, right?
Right.
But the ones that are like really artistic and the ones that really have a message or powerful lyricism, things like that, sure that they want that stuff. Everybody wants money to be able to support themselves, whatever it is. But to some degree, I think that for them, it's not their thing to be like, oh, I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to have the glam and the fortune and like, you know, just basically sell out in order to just have everybody looking at them. You know, like I think Tierra Whack she definitely wants to be popular and, you know, for people to hear her talent, but she wants people to recognize her for her talent though. I don't think she wants people to recognize her because, oh, she sucked a lot of dicks or, you know, has a nice pussy or has a great body or something. She wants people to recognize I have hella talent. Look at me destroying these bars right now. Like, listen to my lyrical ability. Versus,
I think that's where the word sellout comes in.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people start off just like that. And then somebody says, hey, I'll waive this much money in front of you, but I want you to talk away. I want you to give this subject matter to the people.
Yeah.
So we can program them. Conspiracy alert. But like it's the best female rappers, a lot of people haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
Like Drizzy.
She's a great one.
Hearing her on Dreamville's album, I was like, whoa, like why haven't I heard more from her? Like we talked about Tierra Whack. And another one she's one of my favorites is Snow the Product.
Yeah, she's a good one. She's changed up too though recently.
Really?
She's I know when I first heard of Snow the Product, I actually heard about her from I think one of my buddies, Henderson. And he introduced me to her, and I was like, "Damn, this girl can really rap." You know, she's not black. I think she's Latina.
She's Latina.
And she was really talented. The stuff that I've seen from her recently, and like the way she dressed even too, like she wore like beanies, had like, you know, like just jeans and a shirt on and stuff like that, like, you know, just like one of the homies or whatever, you know.
Right.
But when I've seen her now, she's way more dolled up. I don't know about her lyrical content because I don't mess with her like that, but I know like if I see somebody's style change, I'm gonna assume that that what they're talking about isn't the same either. You know, I know like out here, like it's kind of like the same thing, like Logic and like his transformation. Back in the day, way back in the day, he used to be like wearing chains and rapping about certain things. Then he was like, I don't care about this stuff anymore. I want to rap about more serious things, mental health and stuff. Got rid of all his chains and, you know, started wearing glasses and, you know, doing all that and being like kind of like a man of the people or even J. Cole. He's always been a pretty level-headed artist, but like he got rid of all that other stuff and then like you could see the change in his lyrical ability or what he's rapping about. You know, he's really just rapping about this shit does not matter at all, and it shows because he's not wearing that stuff no more. He's not rapping about that stuff no more. But that's where like the negative thing for Snow for me is just like when I've seen her like the last couple months, she's not wearing the stuff she used to wear. She's looking more dolled up, looking like way more sexualized. And I'm just like, I don't think you're rapping about the same stuff no more. I don't know how good you're rapping anymore, but not for me though, not for me.
Yeah, that's a byproduct of the system we were just talking about. When she first came out, you know, I noticed her on the BET site, right? I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the BET site was going on, and then she had rhyme scheme, she had cadence, you know, she had attitude,
definitely talented,
and everything. And I was just like, who is this? Let me check her out. And then since then, I haven't heard anybody like promote an album from her or nothing like that. I've heard her on a couple of tracks with Crooked Eye. Anybody wants to go check that out? You can probably search for it. I forget what the name of it. It was from like 3 years ago. Just a random song I found. Oh, it's Snow the Product song. But yeah, it's a terrible feeling to see people feel like they have to change their way to get noticed and all that. It just you can see that especially with other female rappers that try to. What's her name from Wild 'N Out with the red hair? I forget her name. Is it Justina?
I think some Justina Sky. Something I don't know.
Justina, she can actually rap,
good.
But I can't get past what she looks like, what she talks like, and stuff like that. Like the way she presents herself from Wild 'N Out and stuff like that. I can't focus on the music at this point.
Yeah, I know you from Wild 'N Out.
Yeah,
not for your music. Yeah, so obviously, to some degree, Jermaine was wrong. I would like to see him definitely do the female cipher. I think that'd be a dope idea and a dope concept. But speaking of that, though, there was a cipher that came out, and it was the double XL cipher. I think we mentioned this before that.
Speak on it.
I think we mentioned this before that the double XL cipher is kind of like their last ditch effort to kind of stay relevant to some degree once a year. I don't know many people who are looking up who are buying their magazine first of all, or who are super active and let me look up the article to find out who they're talking to, stuff like that. Surprised it still has, it's still going. Anyway, this year the freshman top 10 were, I believe it was Blueface, YK Osiris, Lil Mozzie, DaBaby, Meg Thee Stallion, YBN Cordae. Who am I missing?
Her name is Rico.
Rico Nasty, Roddy Ricch, and there's one more that I'm not.
It'll pop in there.
Comethazine, that's who it is.
Oh, yeah. I remember that guy now. Yeah. He wasn't actually in the site. He just had like an extra bar they put in there from what I
saw. So overall, the freestyles, starting with the freestyles at least, the freestyles were all very, their swag, their style or whatever. None of them really spoke to me. DaBaby's actually was pretty good, and I did like that Comethazine's was so animated when he first did it, like his facial expressions and stuff and his movements and stuff, and I was like, this is a cool theme that he's going with. I could see this being like if he kept doing this would be really cool. He didn't really do that during his cipher. I know it was broken down into like 3 groups, I believe. So 3, 3, and 4, I think it was, because there's 10 in total. So there's Lil Mozzie, YK Osiris, DaBaby, and Meg Thee Stallion. We'll start with that one first. I'm pretty much going to speak for the both of us on Lil Mozzie. I'm pretty sure both of us thought that was complete garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So light skinned brother wasn't really holding it together. I know he went on Twitter after that and was like, my verse was trash. It's not really my style. I like to write. And, I think he even says in there, this beat is trash, whatever. And I was like,
how dare you, son?
Yeah, I was just like, I feel like even though I didn't make the beat, but as the DJ, I would be like, you need to go. You're going to have to get another DJ or he needs to go because he ain't going to disrespect me. And I'm over here trying to waste my time putting this little cipher together. And the boy can't even spit no damn rhymes. I'm not finna, nobody finna tell me the beat that I'm playing is trash. Get out of here with that mess.
That's that SpongeBob gift right there. Boy. Right there.
So he was trash. I think next up was Meg Thee Stallion. Definitely after Lil Mozzie, Meg Thee Stallion was snapping. I was feeling her vibe, feeling that bounce. I was like, okay, I'm with it.
I feel like they did that on purpose, though.
Potentially, yes, but the only other person that could have made her look worse if she was to come up next was DaBaby, who was the one that finished it all. But I feel like nobody it could have been YK Osiris that went after Lil Mozzie. He would have shined that much more just because of how bad Lil Mozzie was.
Right.
YK Osiris did like his sing-songy thing. Not a fan. I think I said before, I've only saw him on Instagram. Never heard none of his music. Don't even know where he's from or what label he's signed to or whatever. I'm sure it's a big deal for him. Congrats to all of them, but I don't know who he is. Still don't really know who he is. But Meg Thee Stallion, though, she was just rapping. I felt like Meg Thee Stallion kind of did a version of what DaBaby did because they both went up there and started spitting and ripping. But then I feel like DaBaby just took it that extra step further at the end, and his was longer too. And I was just like, I'm glad somebody's doing this. And because I was really afraid it was going to all be like Lil Mozzie. When he first got up there, I was like, if this is how the cipher goes, this will be a freaking travesty. Meg Thee Stallion went up, and I was like, all right, that was way better. YK Osiris went up, and I was like, okay, let's see what DaBaby got. DaBaby's DaBaby. All right, cool.
Right. Yep.
So I thought that was pretty good. Was there any out of that group?
I really enjoyed DaBaby for that one. And I feel like they put Meg Thee Stallion behind Lil Mozzie on purpose, just to to make her sound even more. To make her sound better, just to throw it back in Jermaine Dupri's face a little bit. How great she sound, man.
Compared to this guy before her.
You're not getting that past me. That's all I'm on to. But yeah, I really like DaBaby. I like how DaBaby has different rhyme schemes and different patterns that he uses, even in like something as trivial as a freestyle like that, So
I feel like he always maintains that bounce, but overall, I think it's enjoyable to listen to, definitely.
Yeah, and he's a real one too. We all saw the video.
And then the next group, I think it was Rico Nasty, YBN Cordae, and Blueface. Those were all pretty quick. I don't think any of them were super long. Rico Nasty was definitely interesting. I haven't heard a bunch of her music. I liked a couple of her songs.
It was god awful.
But I definitely don't think that this was her shining moment as far as her being a rap artist in general. I don't think it was her shining moment. It was just kind of like, I'd probably give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Didn't strike me as like this is amazing, this is super great, or that even like like her talent level or anything or anything like that. It was just one of those things that I was just like, okay, all right, she did better than Lil Mozzie at least, you know. And then I think after that was Blueface. No, Blueface was last. So YBN Cordae comes up next. YBN Cordae was definitely killing it. He definitely. Was fire. I liked that he was able to like the way I really know that it was really a good. He may have written it before. I hope he didn't. But I feel like the way to show that he was like really like this is really me spitting at you guys right now. Because he brought up a lyric that he had was he had a Blueface line and a Rico Nasty line, and I was just like, this kid killing it right now. He shot the two of them. I was killing it, and I kind of like that. Like YBN Cordae and Blueface, they were doing like ad libs, like doing Rico Nasty's thing, and then like Blueface kept doing it for YBN Cordae when he was up. For Blueface, why y'all still let this nigga have money? Why y'all give him money for real? Just so he can do like ignorant shit like this?
It's what the people want. They want that ignorance.
It's
bliss.
I don't get it at this point, the fandom of it. Like, I've heard the songs, but it's like one hit wonders come, and like that should be it. Like, he's definitely somebody. Like, and I might sound like I'm hating. Oh well, more power to you guys who hating superiority or whatever, you know. But he's definitely one of those guys that I don't really see how he got like a microphone and got like a couple hot tracks, and you know, people want him in features, people want him in their songs, people keep wanting to put him on stuff. I really feel like he should have been a one-hit wonder, and that should have been the end of his career, in my personal opinion. I don't see how his career is still thriving, how he's still going forward.
Ice Cube actually gave him the big ups,
which was crazy to me. Like I could see what Ice Cube was saying because I seen that interview too. I could see what he was saying about the style. If he could master that style like holistically and carry it somewhere like good, then I'd be like, this is impressive because people aren't doing what you're doing for the most part. You're doing this on purpose too. We clearly know this, but he ain't rapping about shit. He ain't really talking about nothing. And the beat, it doesn't. It's not always that it's off beat, but sometimes it just doesn't sound good, you know. And it's like he has a couple club bangers, cool, but like, are we listening to Blueface all the time? Do you know anybody that's listening to Blueface all the time? Because I definitely don't.
I've never heard anybody.
I've heard Blueface. I've heard Blueface at the club, and I've heard it in the G-Eazy song featuring Blueface. When I went to Virginia for Something in the Water, my homegirl that I was with and her cousin or her nephew, because I forget, but they were playing that song over and over again. And I was like, I don't really care about this song, but if y'all like it, whatever. I'm here. I'm having a good time. Where's Pharrell at?
You got it. Didn't it though?
It didn't actually. Well, I guess maybe while I was there because I listened to it so much, like over and over and over again. Like they played that song so many times. But overall, I was just like, whatever. It's just another Blueface song. When is this guy career's over again? You know, but
that's karma for what you did to me, the Mo Bamba.
Wow.
And over and over and over.
I got that was my shit though. But where's he at now though too? See? Where's he at? And then the last group I think was Roddy Ricch, Tierra Whack, and I'm missing him again. Who's that last? Comethazine in this one. I thought his freestyle was, and this is like weird. I feel like the ciphers are usually the place to shine. Mm-hmm. I feel like Comethazine's freestyle was way better than his cipher. He didn't really have that animated like feeling that he had in the freestyle. He was very just kind of normal. He still had the crazy lyrics, but it didn't hit me as hard as it did when he did the freestyle. It was just like, you're rapping all the same stuff, but it's like it wasn't as impactful for whatever reason.
Because that freestyle was rehearsed.
Probably.
That's why anytime you see a rapper that has a whole ton of emotion, a whole ton of hand movements, that's something they've had in their pocket for a while.
Oh, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But I just feel like the freestyle showcase was way better than his cipher showcase. Roddy Ricch didn't particularly impress me very much. I'd a 6 or maybe a 7. Tierra Whack stops the beat and then she starts going in. And while I thought it was cool, definitely, I saw a video that brought up the fact about it was mentioning something along the lines of Tierra Whack stopping the beat, which makes it show that like it shows like a lack of ability to the extent of your ability to work with others and to go and to work outside of your comfort zone. Instead of just going with the beat that was playing like everybody else was doing, she was like, oh, I'll just do a cappella and just kind of do what I've already been doing. So while Tierra Whack is very talented, don't get me wrong, I would never say she's not talented by any means. She's just doing something that she's already been used to doing versus like, okay, this is the beat that I got to work with. All right, let's bring it, you know? So when I heard that, I thought about that and I was like, then that could potentially be accurate. But I feel like the last 3 years, there has been somebody on each one of those. The 2016, I know X did it. 2017 X did it. 2018 Ski Mask did it, and then 2019 Tierra Whack would have done it. So it could have just been that. Maybe that's a theme that they're going with. Maybe they just want somebody to be able to showcase the acapella talent. Because I know there was a couple beat changes throughout the cipher, and some people sang, some people spit raw lyricism, and then Tierra Whack went acapella. So it could have just been a showcase of maybe this is what we can all bring to the table to some degree. If Tierra Whack can acapella, by all means, I want to hear acapella in one of these damn albums.
Yeah, I feel like that's how you stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up in an era where everybody was rapping on the beat and this and that. We're used to people rapping on the beat or people getting on certain pockets of the beat. What can you do with the rhyme scheme in this certain part of the beat, this and that. And but when somebody cuts off the beat, then you can really hear what they're saying. You can really absorb the words, you really absorb their feeling, behind their emotion, behind everything. That was where a lot of people get distracted by the beat.
Oh, definitely.
All the time in music.
Oh, that beat's fire. That beat's how I love the beat.
Right. Did you hear what I said?
Right. I was rapping about fried chicken and French fries.
Yeah, but especially because Slaughterhouse used to do that all the time too. Everybody would come in on the beat side. We're gonna do our cipher a cappella. You're gonna hear what we got to say. You're gonna hear the difference between what we're saying and what everybody else is talking about. So I feel like that actually sets people apart more when they do it a cappella, because obviously they stand out that way.
Yeah.
Just like the guy that sang, and he sang out. I was like,
who's
that singing? It immediately reminded me of August Alsina when he did it.
Yeah.
Chances.
I think it was like 2015 or 2014. I forget.
Yeah, somewhere out there. Yeah, I was gone in that, so it was definitely old. Yeah, I like when people go think outside the box when it comes to rapping like that. She probably had the most quotables just because
there's no beat to just be like, oh man, that beat was fire. Yeah, she was sick. Yeah, definitely. Overall, I definitely enjoyed her verse. I think I don't want to give like a top 10, but like I definitely enjoyed Tierra Whack. I enjoyed Comethazine to some degree because for whatever reason, there's a part of my brain who's always been into like that kind of like insane, like I'm crazy, don't mess with me kind of those kind of lyrics. The Baby and Meg Thee Stallion and YBN Cordae, all the five of them for sure stood out for me, and I thought they were probably the best ones in totality. YBN Cordae definitely, Tierra Whack with acapella. YBN Cordae kind of did like, he was spitting in real time, it felt like. The Baby, the Meg snapping, and then Comethazine with like the insane, I'm crazy, Did you have like a top, like, or anybody that stood out to you the most or the best?
There was only three people that really stood out to me, and I've mentioned them already, is YBN Cordae, the Baby, and Tierra Whack.
Okay.
Those were the ones that stood out the most to me, just because of the way I was just talking about. They had different schemes in there, they had different cadences that were going on, and that's what really made me enjoy it.
For sure. Enough of music. Obviously, a lot of music came out. Now we have some movies. We've been watching a couple of movies. There's a lot of movie news. Real quick, have you seen Zombieland 1?
Bits and pieces here and there. So I'm going to say yes.
Oh, man.
Because I always start off at a different point in the movie. So I think I've seen the entire thing from start to finish.
Yeah. For me, it's probably up there and probably like a top 100 list at least. It's a great movie. I always used to think that Jesse Eisenberg was like nothing but a discount Michael Cera. He's come out with a couple movies though that kind of swayed my opinion about that. But Zombieland 2, I'm super excited for. It looks great. They're gonna have more people in it this go around, and I'm super excited for that. It looks like they're gonna encounter a group that's like their counterparts. So like a guy who's just like Woody Harrelson's character, a guy who's like Jesse Eisenberg's character.
So like the white version of us.
Yeah. So it just looks kind of funny, and I just can't wait to see like the shenanigans and the antics that go in. And one of the things about Zombieland 1 that I really liked was that Tallahassee, I think that's Woody Harrelson's character, he keeps telling the story about a puppy, and he's so sad. And then Jesse Eisenberg just thinks, oh, it's about a puppy or whatever, and he's just like, whatever. But then later on, I think Emma Stone, is that the one? The one from Easy A? Emma Stone, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Emma Stone, I think, explains to him that he's not talking about a puppy, he's talking about a kid. And he was like, what? And then, like, because he saw, like, Woody Harrelson cry again or something, and he realizes, it clicks in his head, he's not talking about a puppy he lost. He's talking about losing his, I think, a daughter or something. And so, that was really sad. And I wonder if they're going to have, like, a hard-hitting thing like that, because I know, like, even though it's kind of like a comedy and just, like, fun or whatever, that was a moment. And then at the end when he's, like, he goes back for the girls, and then Woody Harrelson pretty much tries to sacrifice himself for them. And thank God they all end up surviving, which is great. But but I want to see if they're going to be able to kind of emulate that again in this movie. You know, some scenes that kind of pull at your heartstrings a little bit and kind of like, oh man, they're a family. You know, this is nice or whatever. So that trailer dropped. Jumanji, technically, I guess this is Jumanji 3. Did you watch that trailer?
I definitely did. Yeah. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie when it came out. So
that movie was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be, for sure. The trailer seemed really interesting, just with the concept of how do you go into another movie, and when you go into the movie, you're not playing yourself, you're playing a character who is playing somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
So you already have that. You already have that to think about, and then you play the sequel thinking, okay, I'm the same character. Probably thinking at first, oh, I'm the same guy, but now you're this character, but somebody else is playing you now. So you got to like have like the same kind of like antics or whatever, but then like with a whole different mindset. You know, like Kevin Hart, even his voice, he changed his voice for the movie because I think Danny Glover's playing his character, and The Rock is being played by some Danny DeVito, is that who it is, or somebody? I forget the other old guy.
Yes, Danny DeVito. Yeah.
So it's like it's really interesting. I can't even wait to see the other characters because I think it was the football playing dude and the girl that the Rock's character falls in love with. They're their same characters. Oh no, that's wrong.
Look at that, already confused.
I know.
Imagine watching the movie, you're gonna be like, who is who right now?
For real. But people are different characters, and I'm just excited to see how it all plays out and to see what happens to the rest of the characters that are supposed to be in the game. I just want to see who they're going to play as. I was also wondering if they're even going to bring one of the Jonas Brothers. I don't know if it was which one it was, but one of the Jonas Brothers was in the first movie or the second movie, and I want to see if they're going to bring him back because he wasn't one of their options when they first picked the game or whatever. So I wonder, maybe he accidentally picked this guy instead, and that's why it's all switched around or whatever. And the grandparents weren't even in the freaking. They weren't even in the room when the three kids go back into the game. So I don't know how they got into the game.
I feel like they run down or something.
Probably what's going on? And,
what are you young whippersnapper? And all of a sudden they're in the game. That's what I feel like is going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be worth the watch. Probably, I'm sure it's going to be funny. Kevin Hart and Rock have been in. Is this going to be their third movie together? Because they did the Intelligence or. Mm-hmm. Secret Intelligence, Central Intelligence, the Jumanji 2, and then this will be their third movie, I think, together, right?
I want to say there's another one out there somewhere in the universe.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they have about to have at least 3 movies under their belt, and you can't really go wrong. All the movies they've been in together are pretty funny. They have some pretty great chemistry too, so I'm excited to see all that.
This could potentially make me respect Kevin Hart as an actor. Besides the funny. Is if he can play another character that's playing another character. It's an inception of characters. Look at this.
Yeah. Seriously.
If he can pull this off, there's mad respect. Just from the trailer, I was like, wow, that's got to be hard.
Definitely, for real. I know a couple movies that have come out, Crawl, Midsommar, Spider-Man. We wanted to talk about those real quick. No, a couple of them are a little bit old. Go ahead and talk about Crawl real fast. My first opinions were, I didn't think it was going to be good. I thought it was going to be like every other monster flick, like freaking Sharknado,
you actually
Mega Shark and stuff. No, I didn't see it, but I'm just like giving my first opinions, like the trailers and stuff. I didn't think it was going to be worth 2 cents, but everybody is talking about this movie. So much so, I know you saw it. You said you liked it.
Oh yeah, I loved it actually, but I didn't even know what it was until somebody was just like, oh, they're playing Crawl. I'm like, all right, let's go see that. I guess it's about alligators. Fine, let's go. It's pretty much the new Deep Blue Sea. When you really think about what's going on here, like we're trapped, we need to get out, these things are in here killing us.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the gist of the movie. But the first con that I have about the movie is it took at least 25 minutes for me to see an alligator, and I'm sitting here like,
damn, really?
Yeah, somebody went to sleep. I went in a group, somebody fell asleep before we saw the first alligator. And so I was sitting there like, oh, come on, start something. All right, I had to physically wake him up 4 times. Like, yo, get up. Something's about to happen. And then it made me look like a liar because nothing happened. The door flew open, and I was like, he's like, that's what you woke me up for? Whatever. But yeah, once it actually got going, it was very entertaining. You got to sit there, and there was a lot of gore in there. So that was some of the pros, like the injuries people sustained in that movie. Like, there's a part spoiler alert, there was a part where somebody lost their arm. And I held my arm the whole entire movie. I was so thankful I had an arm after seeing that, bro. Like, and just the different scenarios. When you find out how they get trapped in that house, you find out what's actually going on. You're like, oh yeah, If this was me, I'd be dead. But let me see what's actually, because every time you thought about something, they actually tried it. Like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I would. Oh, dang, that didn't work. I'll be dead. Dang it. But as far as being caught between multiple gators and stuff like that in real life, those things are huge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if it was in Florida where they were showing it, or if it was in like Georgia or something like that, somewhere in the South. But those things, definitely look like they were real life size. So I can just imagine thinking about that many in that small of a space. It's not happening.
It's game time, dinner time. Another movie that I guess I don't think you've seen it, but I've seen it. Midsommar. I know it was praised by Jordan Peele. He said something along the lines of it's going to be the scariest movie of the year. It's definitely it's a movie that's going to leave you disturbed. I was not.
Sounds perfect.
It didn't. I just felt uncomfortable afterwards. You don't. It's not like it's not the bloodiest movie ever, the goriest movie ever. Although the gore that is in it is like really extremely graphic. But it's just real quick. It's not something that's like everything is like super crazy bloody and all this people getting their heads chopped off all crazy or nothing like that. But the scenes that do contain gore, it's real quick. But it's very graphic. Any spoiler alert, just in case I go through that. The movie is basically a breakup movie about a man and a woman that are kind of just like at a rough patch. The man obviously doesn't want to be in the relationship anymore. The woman is really paranoid and has a sister that is constantly sending her messages about like, I want to kill myself or, suicidal messages or thoughts or whatever. And then I guess in the beginning of the movie, it finally happens. She's like sent like 4 messages to her sister. She's not responding. She tries to call her mom and dad. The mom and dad, it even actually goes into the house and shows like, oh, like the phone's ringing right next to the mom and dad, but they're not saying anything. You find out later on because she gets a phone call. She calls the boyfriend and the boyfriend's annoyed or whatever. She gets a phone call. Her parents are dead. Oh man, you see, like go through the house, see the dead bodies and the sister and all that stuff. She decides to go on a trip with her friends. Friends go out. Everybody starts getting dropped like flies one by one. My biggest gripe with this movie is that you don't see any of it but one person, the black guy.
Mm.
So, and I guess technically the boyfriend, you get to see him, but it's kind of like, it's ritualistic. So it's not really like, oh, he was like murdered, like all crazy or violent or nothing. It's just kind of like, he's a ritually sacrificed. Okay, whatever. But I know my black ass wouldn't get caught in Sweden. Hell no. Not with after the ASAP Rocky situation. Mm-hmm. And after this movie, I'm not going to the woods in Sweden. I'm not going to the city in Sweden. I'm cool off Sweden.
I'm not going to the store down the street.
So yeah, it was a good movie. It just kind of leaves you really disturbed or uncomfortable. But I think it was a good movie. I definitely recommend it. Finally, Spider-Man. We both watched Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man: The Matrix.
For real though. In one of my nerd groups, they did like a little battle thing or whatever. They put up like a picture of 2 people and they used the MCU version of Spider-Man and Black Panther. And they said without suits, who wins or whatever, right? And a bunch of people were saying, oh, Black Panther's got like so much training, this, that, and the third. And I was like, Black Panther doesn't have nothing to put Spider-Man down with physically. I know he is stronger. He does have abnormal strength. He does have abnormal speed. That's fine and dandy. Not to somebody who is taking a hit from a train, though. Spoiler alert, by the way. He got hit by a train and got up. Black Panther's not hitting him with nothing hard enough to do that. There's no way. Keep in mind, he's only 16 years old still. He's probably going to get stronger in the MCU as time passes, and we'll probably see crazier showcases of his strength and mental fortitude. I mean, the kid picked up a building at the age of 15 that collapsed on him. Come on now, like what?
Those webs are actually part of him. They're not part of a suit or anything. Those are coming. The suit or not, that's an automatic advantage right there.
Well, in the comic books and actually in this movie too, it's web cartridges. There's variations where Peter Parker does have the webs come out of him, but for this one they make him like, well, he usually is really smart, but for this iteration he made the web fluid and all that stuff. And I don't know how I couldn't even think of something realistically that comes close to that kind of thing besides like a grappling hook, really. But I mean, I appreciate that because they always give him that scenario of like what happens in the movies. His web shooters go out. So I always appreciate that. That's a scenario that he has to overcome. And it's like when you really think about what he can do with those webs and the stuff that he does do, even in the movie, he does a lot with the web shooters themselves. And then when he doesn't have them, he's like, all right, it's all me now, and it's like he does the freaking Matrix basically, and he tears it up. And I thought it was great overall. I mean, did you have like a favorite scene or anything?
Yeah, I actually did. You actually hinted at one of my favorite scenes. It's just where Mysterio could have been like the most dangerous and evil villain like to date.
For real.
That whole scene of him sending his mind through so many different dimensions, and like I have no idea how anyone defeats that.
Yeah.
If they had extended that scene, pretty much could have made that movie a rated R movie just for that scene alone. Like I'm sitting there watching, oh my goodness, the whole rest of the movie. I was like, none of this is real. Like something has to be wrong. None of this is real, bro. And then he just like, and now I just got to kill you. And then like oh sorry, that was probably too loud for the mic. But he hits him with the train and everything. And I was just like, he could literally do that to anybody.
Yeah.
There's no one Avenger. There's no one anybody that I can think of that can fight against that. Off the top of my head, there might be somebody somewhere in the.
The only person I can think of is Thor and Captain Marvel. Only because Captain Marvel could take a lot of damage. I don't think that they had anything that could specifically hurt her to the degree of like, oh my gosh, like this lava monster hit me, so like I'm hurt like the lava monster hit me.
I don't even mean physical damage.
The mentally, yeah. People can't beat that mentally, but if you get hit by something and it doesn't hurt like it's supposed to, that's going to break instantly. And you're going to be like, oh, this is clearly a trick, whatever. But like or Thor, for example, he could just and then it's over, you know. But I feel like I definitely agree. Mysterio was a badass villain, and I feel like guys like Black Panther, Captain America, so many others, so on and so forth, a lot of them would have had a hard time dealing with him too. He had as a 16-year-old, he really had to overcome a lot of like, is he even 16? He might be 15, so I don't even know because the snap thing and all that. Either way, he had to overcome a lot in this movie with his own internal issues of his superpowers and, you know, the whole Iron Man being dead thing and him wanting to be Spider-Man, you know, him trying to live in this live up to this, you know, this pedestal, I guess, or whatever, you know, and then having to deal with the mental anguish that Mysterio could put him through, even after he was dead. I mean, once again, spoiler alert in case you didn't hear it the first time, he's dead, and then
what?
He's dead, or supposedly he's dead, and then you think, okay, like that's the end of the movie, and then he was able to get one up on him again and reveal his identity to the entire world. Like, how do you like? You're beating my ass while you're alive, and I still got to deal with crap from you while you're dead. Jesus, man, like that's insane. I'm really excited to see where they're going to take that movie and the route it's going to go. I'm excited for number 3 as long as it comes. I know Spider-Man Far From Home grossed $1 billion now. I think it just reached this weekend. So I mean, kudos to them. You know, congratulations to the team.
And I love the fact that Mary Jane knows.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the whole gripe with I've had with some of these. Like, just tell somebody who you are.
I feel like everybody and their mama is learning. Like his auntie knows, his best friend knows, everybody that's a superhero knows, or whatever this organization is, Shield and all that, they know. And Mary Jane knows. I'm like, who are you? Tell him now.
He was over here trying to buy her gifts. I would have started, I'm Spider-Man.
For real. I've saved your life a couple times. You may not remember. It's no big deal. You know, nothing. Just a little slight work, you know, something a little light, but. A little necklace.
Yeah, I'm Spider-Man.
But yeah, overall, it's a great movie. And speaking of that, as you know, it's a Marvel movie. San Diego Comic-Con passed, and me and Daniel were actually fortunate enough to go make a couple of purchases, witness a couple events, a couple things. Fortunately, we didn't make it to any the halls to like really witness any of the great stuff. And besides the big Marvel reveals, that was on Saturday, we went on Friday. But when we were there, we got to see a lot of games being showcased. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 looks pretty cool. We didn't get a chance to play it, though. We saw the new update for a Monster Hunter. It looks sick. Got to see some kids get torn up by Tigrex. They fought a bunch of older monsters. New monsters to this game, but old monsters in the franchise, as well as new monsters to the game, period, and new to the franchise. It's really cool to watch. Really cool to see a bunch of like grown-ass men and little-ass kids like playing a game together, trying to work together, because it was like set up in monitors of 4 with like preset gear and customs and stuff. So it's just interesting to see that. I was like, I can't do this. I can't be with no 5-year-old. And he's like, let me shoot the gun. Let me shoot the gun. And the monster's moving around. He's like, just shoot the damn gun. Damn. But
dodge.
Get out the way. You're wasting all the lives. Can you get your son, please? Can you get your son? But
he used all the potions. 2 minutes.
But we got to. I purchased a couple things from the Viz booth. I got My Hero Academia issue or volume 20, which is actually an early release. I don't think it comes out till next month. I got 2 issues or 2 volumes of The Promised Neverland. Heard it's really good. Haven't got to read them yet. Purchased a Goku statue. Purchased a couple mystery boxes. Got a couple hats, belts. Got a little Goku statue. Got a little Midoriya statue from My Hero Academia again. So in case you guys haven't been able to tell by now, My Hero Academia is my favorite anime right now. I'm all about that. It's getting really dark and really good, and I hope other people get into it. It gets bigger than it already is. Daniel bought a couple things. I know you got the headbands, right?
Yeah, I got the Naruto headbands. They weren't even for me; they were for somebody else. Just because I knew somebody that really loves Naruto as well, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get this for this person and all that. As far as for me, that was being somebody that doesn't like that much anime, it was kind of disappointing that they didn't have the ones that I actually liked. They didn't have Super Boost for that. Like I was looking for Dragon Ball Super Boost. I would have bought anything from Dragon Ball Super. I was looking for wall art to put on my wall to my new place and everything like that. They didn't have it. It was a lot of, but it did open my eyes to a lot of different animes, like the whole My Hero Academia, stuff like that. And I really enjoyed seeing all the people put together their art.
Oh yeah,
people were sitting there drawing, making their own comics right there on the spot in front of people. So I saw a guy make a whole mural, and it was like 2 minutes. We were walking by, we were waiting in line, and somebody was just drawing up. He drew up the whole scene. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I don't know who decided to put lines in the middle of hallways. Don't do that again, because people need, especially with that many people, there's no reason anybody should be stopped blocking any type of traffic and all that. So that's one of my big negative gripe on the whole thing about
the congestion of it all.
It's a big place, so I can imagine if it was smaller, it'd be even worse. But having lines in the middle, there's all kind of walls on the outside you could have put lines on.
Yeah.
But as far as what I bought a Bob Ross box. Bob Ross is a big thing for me as a child. A lot of people really liked Bob Ross.
For sure.
I never actually got to watch him finish a painting because I always fell asleep, but not because he was boring, because he had the soothing voice. And narrating was a little phalo blue.
About to go to sleep right now. Shit.
It was really ASMR before ASMR blew up. It's pretty low key. But there was a mug that was in there. There was a bobblehead. There was a magnet in there. It's pretty much what I think that's the most that I bought there was that box.
The box and the bands.
And the bands.
I also wore my vest. I have a Warriors vest. In case you guys don't know. The Warriors is one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my number 1 movie. My top. I watched it multiple times. I've had it in multiple platforms. I have it on my PlayStation. Had it on my PSP way back in the day in the early 2000s. I bought a vest off of Amazon, and a bunch of people were coming up to me asking me where I got it from. People were just like kind of like Daniel just did right now, just saying like Warriors, come out and play, because that's like a famous line from the movie. People were just like, patting me, saying, "Oh man, I really like your vest, man. It looks cool." One guy came up to me, had me take a picture of the front and from the back, and I was like, "I don't even know you, but all right." Probably has my information now. Probably on some kind of like, probably catfishing with me somewhere out there, But people like the vest, and I've always just wanted to wear it at something like that, and that's San Diego's first Halloween, so I might wear it again for Halloween. Who knows? But it's one of my favorite movies, and I thought that was really cool. I really appreciated all the love I got for the vest itself.
I counted. It was like 9 the whole day. 9 people coming up, yelling behind us. I was like, oh, you're talking to Brandon.
But along with that, real quick, the San Diego Comic-Con panel for Marvel, they had a bunch of reveals, and I think out of 20 trending topics that are available on Twitter, they took up 18 of those spaces. A bunch of announcements, obviously. Eternals and Black Widow, they're coming up pretty soon. I think they're both coming out next year. Not really excited for Black Widow, but I am excited for Eternals because apparently it's going to showcase them obviously being around for hundreds of years, and the fact that half of them disappeared randomly and then it came back. Now they're like, okay, what the fuck's going on now? Like they want to get involved finally. So glad to see that's happening. The Blade announcement was a big deal with Mahershala Ali. I know Wesley Snipes. People were like, oh, why not Wesley Snipes? But he's like, hey, let's chill out. Like I'm great. I'm glad he's gonna do it. Like let's support him. He can't wait for the movie.
He still got tax problems. Really trying to get
shoot, because I know he was trying to pitch Blade 4 for a while, but I guess like after like Blade 2 or whatever, they said he was actually kind of difficult to work with, and of course he got into that legal trouble. So those could potentially be reasons why they didn't go with him. And who knows, he could still be in a movie potentially as like Whistler or somebody else. We don't know. but we'll see what happens in the future. That is actually a Phase 5 film, even though it was announced. Well, so that movie is not going to come out till at least 2022, if not 2023. What else was announced? Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. That's going to have Wanda in it. Super excited for that.
I'm excited for that one too, because that he's potentially could have a scene just like the one we're having with Mysterio. He could just be
crazy stuff. They said it's actually going to be a horror, or it's supposed to be Marvel's first scary movie.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's going to get rated PG-13, so we'll see how scary it can specifically get. But it's probably just going to be like no gore, but like maybe like mental stuff, mind games, things like that. That'll kind of scare kids a little bit or whatever. Besides, I don't know. WandaVision was announced. Hawkeye is a TV show. WandaVision is a TV show. Loki, the TV show, was announced. Falcon and Winter Soldier, the TV show, was announced. They're actually going to go up against Baron Zemo, it looks like, and the guy that played Baron Zemo in the movie Captain America: Civil War is going to come back and look a little bit more comic book accurate and have a mask and stuff, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing Falcon in his new costume, his Captain America duds, so can't wait for that.
Natalie Portman
with Thor and Thor Love and Thunder. I can't wait to see that. They say she's going to be the female Thor, Jane Foster Thor, which to me indicates New Avengers is coming because Sam Wilson is Captain America, Jane Foster Thor. I mean, you could have a Peter Parker be Spider-Man still. It don't really matter because, he's around now, but...
Donald for Spider-Man.
But so I'm really curious as to see where they're going to take this because I know there's a lot of heroes that are still there, like a War Machine, for example. I want to see War Machine's involvement still because he's not dead and he's around. He's still around to be a hero. Captain Marvel, of course, is going to come back around. There was a couple more announcements. Can't remember them off the top of my head, but I mean, the biggest one is probably the Natalie Portman Thor. A lot of people are kind of like, "Oh my gosh, don't make Thor a woman. What are you guys doing?" And it's like no. Chris Hemsworth is still going to be Thor, but he's going to be probably like Thor Odin's son. He's not going to be, she's going to be Thor in just name alone. And probably, I don't know how they're going to do this, but I'm assuming she's going to find Mjolnir or a version of Mjolnir. Maybe it's going to be made for her or something. She's going to get his powers and be female Thor. So there's going to be probably 2 Thors running around, which is great. More superheroes, the better, in my opinion.
I think she'll probably get the original one from Cap since he's no longer around. So she'll probably use that one. It initially threw me for a little too. I was like, "What is this?" look at feminism taking over. But no, honestly, when I actually looked into it, it was actually a real thing. It's actually canonically speaking, it's actually a legit thing. So I don't know why they took them so long to announce that.
Yeah. So it's cool to see Natalie Portman really back in the saddle for that franchise because from what I heard for Endgame, I heard that the scenes that she was in, they were not even new scenes. Those were already recorded from like Thor Dark World or whatever.
Flashbacks and all that.
Basically, yeah. So it's like nothing was new for her. They didn't have to call her and, like, hey, we need you to come and record some stuff. It was already there. They just threw in Rocket Raccoon basically to the scenes. But I'm glad to see her back. Tessa Thompson is actually going to find her queen apparently. That's a rumor too that she's going to find her queen since she's technically like the king of Asgard or the queen and queen. I don't know how that works, but whatever. She's going to find her love interest, which is also, that's a topic for another time. We'll bring that up for another time because we're kind of running out of time here right now. But I can't wait for these Marvel Cinematic movies that are coming out. One thing I did want to point out, though, is that there is no Avengers movie in Phase 4. Phase 1, 2, and 3 all had Avengers movies. This is going to be the first phase. If this is the whole entire lineup, if this is the whole entire lineup, this is going to be the first phase without an Avengers movie, which is going to be kind of interesting to note because the team is all together now. It would be less interesting for like if the last Avengers movie was Infinity War, and then Phase 4 passes, there's no Avengers team or whatever. Then Phase 5 comes, and Endgame comes back, and all the superheroes are back. So it's like, okay, that's the movie for Phase 4 or whatever. But there's a team now, so there's not really any reason why they can't have an Avengers movie, to me at least. But I'm sure a threat is going to be announced. I feel like it's going to be a big thing with the Eternals. I think they're also going to have them be the reasoning why the mutants are created or something. Really want to see how they're going to go through with all this stuff because I would kind of hate to see that mutants have been around for ages and they just weren't a part of the movies. That's kind of like terrible writing to me. But Marvel has a talented cast and crew of writers. So I'm sure they're going to come up with a very brilliant way to introduce them and not leave it lackluster or have it be like, well, how come they weren't in the Endgame or Infinity War and stuff,
A little foreshadowing for maybe a little X-Men thing.
Absolutely. That's what people are hoping for because it's not them. Is it the Celestials? They tampered with like human DNA or whatever. Like that's why the Eternals are the way they are. But then that also led to mutants later down in like, in humans coming up or whatever. That's what led to the mutant gene. But we'll see. Obviously, I know like there's certain mutants that we want to see, and if they don't already have powers, then like I don't want to see Professor Charles Xavier and then all of a sudden he's a mutant. You know what I mean? Like I want him to come out and be like, I'm Professor Charles Xavier. You know, this is my school. We have a bunch of people or whatever. You know, like it's gonna have to be real creative, and I'm excited to see it, and I can't wait for what comes next. I think that Fantastic Four. I don't think that was announced, but I'm sure that it will come up eventually, and a big villain with Fantastic Four obviously comes Galactus. If Galactus comes, I'm sure, I think many people thought that was going to come next, like Thanos, then Galactus, then whoever after that, you know? And if Galactus comes through, I think that'll be a world of hurt for a lot of people. Obviously, he's very powerful. He'll bring his four horsemen of the, not the four horsemen of the apocalypse, but he has like a four horsemen or something like that. But he has a bunch of people that he's given powers to,
Almost
and
they take your Marvel card for that.
And they had to give him. They're the ones that seek out the planets for him to eat or whatever, because you know he devours planets and all that. You know, like Silver Surfer is one of them, of course. That's probably the most famous one. Everybody wants to see him in a movie, especially if the Fantastic Four are going to be in the films. But we don't know the casting and all that direction that they're going to go in, but. After hopefully Black Widow comes out, we'll see something good. Black Widow is supposed to take place between Civil War and Endgame, so we're gonna see kind of how she got that whole I'm willing to sacrifice myself for you guys, you know, like and all that. And we might see some flashbacks of her in Budapest. We're gonna see the Red Guardian, who is like the Russian equivalent of Captain America. We're going to see the rest of the Black Widows, maybe not all of them, but some of them, because I think most of the movie takes place in Russia. So we're going to see how that plays out. I think the villain is going to be Taskmaster, who is basically has like a photoreflexive. He's photoreflexive, I think it is, where it's like I don't think it's even a power. It's just something that people can do. But basically, once he sees somebody do something one time, he's got it. So once she starts doing all her tricks and whatever, he's going to be able to do the exact same thing that she can do. It's going to have to be something real specific that defeats him, because like most hand-to-hand combatants that he goes against, he can beat them. The only thing that I know, like even in like that Spider-Man game that came out, he was like probably one of the hardest bosses, because you do spider sense and dodge stuff just like, you know, Spider-Man does in real life, or not in real life, but in like the shows and comic books and stuff. But once he sees you do that, he does it too. So you're trying to hit him and do all your little tricks or whatever, but he's like, oh, spider sense, and like dodges your shit in like slow motion or whatever. And you're just like, how the hell? Like, but so he'll definitely be an interesting villain for Black Widow to face, I believe. Can't wait for that movie. Did you have out of the movies that were announced, did you have one, Daniel, that maybe you were super down to see or super excited for the most?
Oh, just besides Doctor Strange, I mean, that's really the one I'm really looking for. He's one of my favorites, just because he's different.
Yeah,
he's more than just strength and power and all that. He's actually using like magic,
paranormal.
Yeah, he's using paranormal, using magic and jumping through dimensions and stuff like that. So that stuff gets me. The thing that ruins my mind for a good hour is I'm all for that in a movie.
For sure. Well, I think that's about it, guys. We're definitely out of time. Be sure to follow us on all our platforms, guys. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page. YouTube for sure, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music. You can find us on all those platforms. Most of our names are going to, of course, always be Cultured by the Uncultured. Some with spaces, some without spaces, you know, depending. I think on Instagram you can't have spaces, so it's just Cultured by the Uncultured, one word, I believe. Either way, follow us on all those platforms, share with your friends, let us know what you guys think, give us feedback, please, guys. That is what we want the most. We want feedback. We want to hear what you guys like, what you guys dislike, maybe some things that you guys might have in your mind that like I wish they would do this or something, and then we'll try to implement that into the show. Any little games or anything that you guys want to hear, or any specific topics that you guys may want us to talk about, sometimes let us know and we'll try to fit that into the show. But this
positive or negative,
exactly.
We're not scared of that.
Yeah, definitely. We want positive and negative feedback. Let us know if you hate the show, you wish it would die, why y'all keep going, go ahead and quit. I want all that. If that's what you feel, get it off your chest, let me know. And then I'll try to tell you, like, hey, well, what if we try this? Would you like it a little bit more? Maybe, maybe not. All right, we'll see. It'll be Taylor B, your boy Taylor B, and Daniel signing off for now. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.